It's the NBA. Welcome to our Sunday night broadcast here on 2K Sports. We've got Doris Burke from the sideline. By my side, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Welcome, everyone. This is Kevin Hart. Our starting lineups, a look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First, for the Bucks, we've got Williams. Tonight, we'll see him work to establish that all-important presence under the glass. Then it's Ilyasova, and it's Sanders in at the 4. And for Miami, Brandon Knight is out there, Gallinari. And it's Bynum in at the 4-man position.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. Bucks on defense. Bynum with a screen on Ilyasova. Pass to Gallinari. He kicks it to Knight. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Feeds it to Gallinari. Shot clock at 3. Tries from 16. They grab their own miss. And it's Bynum with the jam.
Well, coaches love him because of the hustle he's continually showing out on the floor. And I think where you really see it most is on the offensive boards.
Another aspect of his game that I really like is how effectively he sets picks. It's overlooked sometimes, but he does a great job of positioning and getting there at the right time to set a screen to help a teammate get free.
And Ilyasova kicks to Hayes. From deep three-point range, no good. Nice D from Brandon Knight. And it's Miami's ball. Gallinari passes to Knight. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, Brandon Knight out of Kentucky is more of a combo guard than a pure point when you look at him offensively. But with his long arms and good athleticism and at 6'3", I think there's a lot of upside for him at the defensive end of the floor. I think he's a guy that could defend 1 and 2s effectively.
And he makes the first. And for Brandon Knight offensively, he's still trying to figure it out.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. I mean, he does have some point guard skills. He's got some athleticism, but he's really an excellent outside shooter when he's got time to set up.
Knight hits them both.
Well, after a brief 2-year drought, the Bucks got back to the playoffs this past season, but it wasn't pretty once they got there. With several guarantees from players about upsetting the Heat, they didn't win a single game and were swept by the Miami Heat.
Now here's Ellis. Elbow shot is on the way, and that one's good.
He's definitely got that shot in his arsenal.
On defense, Milwaukee. 1:15 left to play in the first quarter. Doubled by Sanders. He feeds it to Gallinari. Here's Bremer. Misses off the left iron. Back to the Bucks in the playoffs. In every aspect, they were overmatched by the Heat, and no one really thought they would upset them. But many thought, Steve, that they would at least get a game.
Well, I wasn't one of them, Kevin. I thought they were overmatched from the start. And you could tell in that series, Miami wasn't even interested until the 4th quarter. They knew they could just flip a switch and beat this Milwaukee team. And that's exactly what they did.
The Heat have gone 1 of 3 for the field to start this one so far. Knight dishes to Bynum. And the rejection by Sanders. And he gets it back. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. Bucks trail. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game we've been seeing from the Heat, guys.
And I thought they built this lead mainly because of their work on the glass. They really dominated the rebounding totals.
And it takes an effort from all 5 guys to get a rebounding advantage like that. Everybody has to rebound the ball. That's how you finish off your defense.
The Heat with the lead.
Well, when you have the best record in the league, you're going to be the most dominant, one of the most dominant teams at home. The Heat just destroyed people down in Miami, and only the Denver Nuggets had more wins at home than the Heat did.
Now Ilyasova. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Ersan Ilyasova, a rare breed, a stretch four who's also a big factor on the offensive boards. Ersan said, that's part of my game, to be active. Some nights you aren't going to hit those shots, but if I have this in my pocket, just go in there and crash on the offensive glass. It's all about second effort. Guys?
Well, it seems he can do both, Doris. His role is steadily growing, too. Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Goodwin comes in for Williams, and Mbamute comes in for Ilyasova. And Ellis no good on that one. And how crazy is that from the Heat to win as many games as they did last season, but still be second in the league in home wins? Still, we're far and away #1 at home in the East.
Well, yeah, the Knicks were the closest team in the East, but they still had 6 fewer wins at home than Miami. But the Heat really just did what they had to do to put themselves in position to go on to their second NBA title in a row.
It's Ellis on the wing. Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. The 6-footer's good. Ellis has gone 4 for 5 from the floor tonight. Just 1 miss. Bremer defended by Goodwin. The pass to Cox. Good ball movement here by the Heat. They get the rebound. The shot's good from Hale.
Well, here in the second, not as listless. They're showing some signs of life offensively.
Well, great sign, because after that poor first quarter, now they're playing better offensively, and they have the lead.
And Hayes kicks to Ellis. There's the screen. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, Monte Ellis has never been short on confidence, and last year he went as far as comparing himself to Dwayne Wade, saying the only difference between them is that Wade has rings. That's a pretty big difference, though.
And he knocks down the first one. And you talk about the talent and confidence for Monte Ellis. Steve, what's the balance between confidence and like overconfidence?
Well, I think the balance is in your decision making, and that's the trickiest thing for really talented young players to figure out. It's just when to attack and when to back off a little bit. And that's all stuff that just comes with experience.
And Ellis drops them both.
You know, the Bucks were the last team to make it into the Eastern Conference playoffs, and part of the reason that happened was because they didn't really do well against the rest of the conference. 24 and 28 against the East.
Here's Bremer. The shot is off. The Bucks go the other way with it. There's 57 seconds left to play here in the half. Ellis, the pass to Mbamute. Clock at 6. The dish now to Hayes. No good off the back of the rim. Clark, as you were saying, the rest of the Eastern Conference got the better of the Bucks. Had they been a little tougher against some of the lesser teams in their own conference, they might not have had to deal with the Heat in the first round of last year's playoffs.
Well, the Bucks tried to mix things up last year. Remember, they made the big trade at midseason, too, going for J.J. Redick and moving on from some of their young players. And I think that changed. And, of course, the coaching switch from Scott Skiles to Jim Boylan. So they lost some of their momentum.
Pass to Cox. Here's Bremer. Again, the miss by the Heat.
I tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. Bucks lead by 2. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report with a close contest going on out at American Airlines Arena. The Bucks have been battling. They're scoring with confidence, shooting with an excellent percentage. The leading scorer, Monte Ellis. The game is quickly becoming all about him. Looks like he's ready to put his team on his shoulders and carry them home. Also, Miami looking good in the first half. They've done a great job closing out their defensive possessions, grabbing boards, great rebounding. They felt the impact from Andrew Bynum. He's chipped in 4 points and also helped out with 2 rebounds. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Now, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. You have to like what we're seeing from Monte Ellis.
Yeah, he played a very mature first half offensively, just finding gaps and making good decisions, getting into the defense and knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, that's exactly what we're talking about when we say offensive efficiency.
Miami trailing.
Well, you know, the Bucks thought they had a plan to make a big push forward by pairing some talent together in the backcourt, but what seems to have happened is they are now mired in mediocrity, which is exactly where you don't want to be.
Shot clock at 6. Stevens. Rebounded by Ellis.
That's a shot that he sometimes struggles with, but you can't fault him for taking it when the defense backs off like that.
And Hayes kicks to Ellis. They double team Ellis. Sanders. He dishes it to Hayes. For the 3. Ellis can't get it to go. And back to Minnesota. They were the 8th seed in the East last year, but still finished 6 games under 500. Still a lot of work for them to get above 500 and be in a position where, Steve, they are, competing for home court in the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot of changes for the Bucks in the offseason, but a team that was able to sneak in last year, they're hopeful to make it once again this season, but it feels like they're kind of stuck in the middle right now.
The Heat shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
And you look at the numbers from a year ago, guys, this is a club that hit about 75% of its free throws.
And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point.
As he's grown as a player, Andrew Bynum has become more forthcoming with his opinions, which I don't mind. One thing he said last season was that he felt his development was stifled a little bit by playing with Kobe Bryant. And you know what? He might be right.
Williams for 3. Rebound by the Heat. And here is Knight. First minute and a half of basketball here in the 3rd quarter. The shot's good from Stevens. And going back to Andrew Bynum, certainly he's shown the capability to be a go-to scorer on the low block.
Well, he's an old-school center. I mean, you can throw him the ball in the block. He's got great footwork. He can score with either hand. He's an impossible cover when he's physically right. But that's the question. Will he be healthy? If so, then they've got a guy who can demand double teams down there.
The Bucks making a switch here. Hollins is checked in. Over a minute and a half into the 3rd quarter of action. There's Williams, and so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, you got to be so careful with him defensively because he has the ability to get hot at a moment's notice. And if that happens at the wrong time, you're in some big trouble.
And his body control is something else I like about him. I'm not sure how he does it, but the way he's able to hang in the air and change his shot to get it around the defender is purely amazing.
And that one falls for Williams.
A lot of people thought the East would be a cakewalk for Miami last year, but Indiana made sure that wasn't going to be the case. What a series with the Pacers using their size and strength to pound Miami down low, and eventually the Heat were able to pull it out, but boy, was that a tough series.
And Williams drops them both. And just to touch back on the Eastern Conference Finals, went to a Game 7 where Miami ran away with the game. But, you know, Clark, if it weren't for the heroics of LeBron earlier in the series, it could have been the Pacers that took on San Antonio in the finals.
You know, I was thinking a little bit about two former ABA teams meeting in the NBA Finals, but the Heat managed to steal Game 1, and I thought that proved to be the difference in the end. That was a game the Pacers had and didn't squeeze. But the way these two teams are constructed, they should be seeing a lot more of each other in the near future. And I think that's great for the league because whenever they meet up in the regular season or the playoffs, it's always been a battle the last couple of years.
Nice rivalry developing
I
between
think
those
you're
two.
right.
Yeah.
A good one brewing there.
5 on the clock. Nailed from three-point land. Williams has got 5 now.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
Rivers kicks tonight. There's the 3. And the Heat, another 3.
And defensively, they're starting to look for answers because ever since halftime, they've been disjointed out there.
Kicks it to Williams. All alone. And again, it's Milwaukee converting. Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Dishes it to Gallinari. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Heat out front, leading by 3. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. If you're just tuning in, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to get going once more. The players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Heat.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
Now, it seems to me that they're taking a lot of pride in their rebounding tonight, especially at the offensive end, guys.
Ilyasova dishes to Williams. No good. That would have tied it.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
Passes it to Stevens. Back tonight. Now the feed to Gallinari. No good on the triple.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, they were very lucky defensively because there was some miscommunication there. They left him wide open.
Hayes the pass to Ellis. Feeds it to Ilyasova. He kicks to Hayes. Now the pass to Ilyasova. 4 on the shot clock. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession. Goodwin's checked in for Williams. Miami with the ball. 3-point lead. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Pass tonight. He feeds it to Gallinari. 6 to shoot. Bynum kicks to Gallinari. Three-pointer. That's Gallinari again missing.
And then he's having all sorts of problems with his shot.
I'm not sure he even has a shot right now, Steve, to be quite honest. Not a reliable one anyway. Dropped that one in as soft as a feather using the finger roll.
To the middle. Here's Knight. The shot no good. Now the Bucks take it the other way. 1:12 left in the fourth. Ellis goes in.
What a game for Ellis. 13 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
Yeah, and you'd expect by the end of this game, I'm sure the numbers are going to look even better.
He hits the first one, and that ties the game up. So making both free throws, that'll give them the lead here.
What a clutch performer. He loves being in these situations, just relishes the opportunity. A lot of guys say they do, but you can see it in his face. He truly does.
Pass to Stevens from downtown. Milwaukee with the rebound. Ellis right side. Can't get it to go. Well, he go the other way with it. There's the dish tonight. He passes to Stevens. Another shot. Bynum with his screen on Sanders. Here's Bremer. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
Oh, what a basket, and at the perfect time.
How about the courage and backbone of this guy? Wow.
One shot.
That is delivering in the clutch. Just one more stop is all they need.
The Bucks have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Here's Ellis. It's off. And so they foul intentionally.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yep, you got to extend the game here. Try to keep that clock from moving.
He gets the first, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And he is unable to get the second one. Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. They're behind by 3. Just 4 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
With this much time remaining, they should be able to get themselves a decent shot at the basket. Still, a contested 3 is never an easy shot.
Boy, a 3 here would be huge.
Yeah, a chance to tie it up and make it even with the game on the line. Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that.
And the Heat call time here. Here's Knight. Oh, it's off the mark. And we're going to overtime. Time expires, and we're going to overtime. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. Well, if you're just joining us, the intensity has really heated up in this one. As we've watched this one go now to overtime. Ellis in the post, defended by Fox. That's good. 17 points for Monte Ellis.
This has been a terrific contest up to this point, and I would guess it's going to stay this way all the way to the end. Great matchup.
Probably so. Neither team wants to give an inch.
Cox. Off target from outside. Milwaukee in the lead. Ilyasova dishes to Ellis. They double team Ellis. Ilyasova. Kicks it to Hayes. 6 on the shot clock. Puts up the baby hook. And a foul on the shot. They'll go to the strike for 2. Drops the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. The Heat making a switch here. Gallinari's checked in. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
And that's how you do it, guys. I mean, free throws in a game like this can make a huge difference.
Here's Knight. Off target from the wing.
I would have been lucky to knock that shot down.
Yeah, that kind of shot will definitely get you the high eyebrows from the coach and maybe get you a seat on the bench, too.
Here's Ellis. Knight grabs the board.
Boy, we don't see that too often. No defender on him, and he just clanks the open jumper.
Back to Gallinari. He dishes it to Bynum. Pass to Knight. Some nice ball movement here by the Heat. Offensive rebound. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
First free throw is good, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
Boy, those were massive foul shots right there. It's down to a 1-possession game.
In overtime here, a minute and a half off the clock. The Bucks shooting pretty good tonight at 48%. Gallinari against Ellis. Dishes it to Ilyasova. Shot clock at 5. The feed to Hayes. Here's Sanders. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
They are not letting up, guys. They just keep coming at them.
And I'd say that lead is too big to overcome at this point.
Free throw drops for Sanders.
And you got to think those free throws are the nail in the coffin, guys.
Timeout called, the Heat. They're trailing by 5. 3 seconds left in the first overtime. Action has been terrific. Knight for three. No good. And so the Bucks take the win. Clark, what a game.
Yeah, they kept their cool, stayed with the game plan, and that's why they came out on top.
Well, that'll do it. For Dorisburg, Steve Curry, Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying so long. We'll see you next time. And as we leave, we give you our Jordan Player of the Game, Monte Ellis.
That's it for now. Let's send you out to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. Enjoy the first half. We'll see you soon.
What a night here in D.C. The view from above, capturing the Capitol building and beyond, the Washington Monument. Thank you for tuning in this Sunday evening. Kevin Harlan here, along with Clark and Steve. We're always glad to see you. Thanks for joining us. A quick check now for starting five for both teams. First for the Bobcats. Boston out there with Williams. And at the center position, the 7-foot big man from Kingston, Jamaica, Jerome Jordan. It's his first. Then there's Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and it's May, and it's a power forward. And for the Wizards, Tony Parker is out there with Bradley Beal. They've got Miller. He'll be battling under the boards to get the job done, both on offense and defense. Then it's Trevor Ariza, and it's Lynch, and it's the force line.
Well, you know, when you're a team that's young and can't score, it's hard to win anywhere, especially on the road, though. The Bobcats just were often overmatched when they were on the road.
Going back to the Bobcats on the road, it was definitely their undoing as they ended up with a league worst 6 road wins on the season. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah, but it's just reality, too. I mean, when you don't have players who can score and attack and create offensively, you're going to struggle on the road. And they just didn't have anybody who's capable of carrying their team through the inevitable adversity that hits when you're on the road. Pretty bad defense, letting the offense get right to the rim, but smart play to foul once he was there.
But you know it's going to happen, and they sent a message right there. Nothing easy inside.
And he makes the first.
Losing 12 straight to start the season for the Wizards, just ominous, and through 20 games, the worst start in franchise history. But once they got back to health, they showed they could compete with anybody.
Both good from the line that time. When you start out like the Wizards did last year, it's easy to get down on yourself and give up on the season. But you know what, Steve? They showed a lot of fight, never bowed their heads.
Got to give a lot of credit to Randy Whitman for keeping the ship afloat after that tough start. And I like the fact that they added some veteran guys a season ago that I think added to the character of this team. But it's an interesting group, no doubt.
Clock at 2. Gilchrist, no luck.
they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Lawson dishes to Williams. Back to Lawson. Pass to Williams. The second chance effort. The putback. And it's Jordan with the jam.
No tip required when you've got room to make the stuff.
Yes, some powerful second chance points right there.
Yeah, he wasn't wasting any time. Straight back up and right into the hoop.
Here's Ariza. From outside, off the mark.
And you look at Trevor Ariza out of UCLA. He's a rangy defender on the perimeter. And his outside shot may be a little streaky, but defensively, that's really his forte on that side of the floor. He gets after it, makes a lot of hustle plays.
Lawson kicks to Williams. That one falls, coming off Lawson's feet. Williams has got his first 2 points of the night.
Kevin, he does a great job of moving without the ball, and he gets a lot of good looks because of that movement. And as long as his teammates are setting screens and looking for him, he can be lethal from the outside.
And that is the key, Steve, but his release in those catch-and-shoot moments is also terrific. And, you know, thinking about Ariza, it makes sense to be selective offensively for him. I mean, he looks to be a 3-and-D guy and finish around the rim. When he tries to become an isolation scorer, I think sometimes he gets himself in trouble.
Now here's Williams. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup.
Yeah, not just an everyday finish. He put a little pizzazz on that one, guys.
Parker kicks to Beal. Lynch. 36 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Passes it to Beal. And he gets the jumper to drop. Charlotte trailing. Williams gets a screen from Lawson. And Miller with the block. Here's Jordan. And gets hacked by the D. He'll go to the line.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
Bobcats shooting their first free throws here for the night. The first free throw is good. And the Bobcats making a change here. That one is no good.
They should be in front right now, but he'll be relieved not to have come up totally empty there.
Favors makes it off the glass.
Well, and the bounce pass was the key to the play.
First quarter of play, we're about 3 minutes in. Here's Sessions, just 3 on the clock. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
The Bobcats making a switch here. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Well, he was somebody you didn't want to put at the line a year ago. He made 85% of his attempts.
Yeah, you know, that was one spot where they didn't have to worry about him at all. I mean, at the free throw line, he was automatic.
1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Bobcats lead by 1. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And what do you guys think about the Bobcats here in this one?
Now, the key has been the rebounding department. This club dominating the paint area. And if this continues, they'll be in great shape.
Well, they've done 2 things. They've limited second chances, and they've been able to flex their muscle down low.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, as everyone knows, Anthony Bennett was the #1 overall pick this season. And with the rise of the three-pointer in the NBA, the value of the so-called stretch four has never been higher. Stats have shown that playing 4 long-range shooters on the court at one time is a huge advantage for an offense. So for Bennett, a forward who can shoot with range and do damage inside, he finds himself in a league eager for his talents.
Certainly a player to root for. Thanks, Doris.
And, you know, he's still so young, but has shown a lot of promise. It's going to be really fun to watch him develop. How about that play? Great body control. Still manages to finish the play despite the contact.
You know, when that whistle blows, you're not done. Get greedy and find a way to knock it down. Boy, the Wizards had a hard time getting wins against the rest of the conference, and it's a big part of why they never built any momentum up at any point of the season. When you can't find it in your ability to beat other teams in your conference, it's a long season for you.
Now here's Wall. He kicks it to Beal. Back to Wall. 5 on the clock. The jump up, and it's good off the glass. We played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Well, back to the Wizards. 52 games this season are played in conference, and they struggled against the East, so it really did create a huge roadblock for them. Only 15 conference wins for them, and Steve, that was the second fewest in the East.
Yeah, and the East, as we know, last year was really weak, so that number is pretty alarming, especially when you consider how well Washington played down the stretch.
Now here's Kid Gilchrist. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
Boy, that's embarrassing, guys. He's going to have a hard time living that one down later when they watch it on tape.
And the Bobcats making a change here. A minute and a half gone here in the second quarter. Now here's Wall. Leads him in there. Lynch's shot is off. The Bobcats with the lead. Kicks to Sessions. Charlotte moving it around. The pass to Buchanan. Second shot opportunity, and he lays it up and in.
He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
Wall passes to Lynch. Feeds to Favors. Back to Ariza. Six to shoot. Pass to Marion. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far. Pass to Buchanan. Outside Kid Gilchrist. Dishes it to Sessions. "11 feet away. Tries again. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the strike for 2.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You could hear the impact from where I am.
The Bobcats have shot 75% at the line tonight, going 3 for 4.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
And the first one at the line is good. The Bobcats making a switch here. Both free throws good from Buchanan. Here comes Parker. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. The Wizards with another miss.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
And so we conclude the first half. It's the Bobcats up by 6. We'll be back shortly live from the Verizon Center.
Now, presented by Sprint.
It's time for the Sunday night halftime report. Charlotte up on top against Washington. They're really going hard at it on the boards, offensively chasing down every miss they can. Ramon Sessions has stood out in the early going. Everything's finding its way through the rim, and he's been filling it up early. A tough matchup, but the Wizards are staying afloat. Their passing has been the key. Great playmaking all around. The leading scorer is Trevor Ariza, and Bradley Beal has also been getting it done for them. And that does it for us here in the studio. Thanks so much for joining me. And now, back out to Kevin and the gang.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. Without question, Trevor Ariza displaying his skills today.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because the numbers don't jump out at you, but you think about how hard he's played and the number of things he's done well. He's really helped his club.
Yeah, he has. I mean, trust me, he's getting it done. He's making winning plays, whether they show up in the numbers column or not. He's impacting the game. Well, for the Bobcats, some tough luck in the lottery the last few seasons. They had the worst record in 12, but they missed out on Anthony Davis. The second worst record last season, but they fell to the fourth pick. And they need so much help, but the lottery fortune hasn't gone their way. Well, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. That's
right.
him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
Bobcats shooting their 7th attempt at the foul line in this one. And Clark, you mentioned the struggles last year for the Bobcats. Last season, the worst defense, 2nd worst in rebounding, and Steve, the 3rd worst in offense.
They just didn't have enough talent. It's been a long struggle for this team the last few years, and the roster is starting to grow. It's starting to build, but there's still a lot of work to be done in Charlotte.
Now Lawson. Trevor Ariza missing from long range. Lawson. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Parker with it. He's picked up by Jordan. Parker dishes to Beal. Back to Parker. Parker right side. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Tony Parker had a phenomenal 2011-2012 campaign, but as is the case with Greg Popovich, he challenged Parker to improve upon that for last season. Popovich told him, good players can be great for a little bit, but great players are always great. And that really resonated with Parker.
First one falls for him. Think about how great Parker has been. We forgot his career almost came to an end in the summer of 2012. This is a very interesting part in his career.
That's right. He was an innocent bystander at a club in New York when a melee erupted and bottles were thrown. He got a shard of glass that penetrated almost through his left eye. Very easily could have lost his vision and lost his career.
Now, here is Lawson. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. He passes it to May. Back to Lawson. Shot clock at 5. The feed to Jordan. And he finishes it off with a one-handed jam. Well, now they're just going to town on him.
Yeah, you'd think these defenders would have done a little more to put a stop to that stuff, Kevin, but so far, no go.
Well, a phenomenal aerial assault there, fellas.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington. Wizards making a switch here. Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. And Favors kicks to Parker. He feeds it to Miller. Back to Parker. Shot clock at 6. And it's off the back rim. No good.
Seems like every year, guys, you look at Tony Parker and he's found something else to add to his game. He's always improving.
He dishes it to Williams. Back to Lawson. No good. Good D by Parker. Last season for Tony Parker, arguably his best ever. 20 points a game, almost 8 assists, 52% Steve from the field. And there was even talking mid-season about maybe MVP consideration.
Well, his ability to score inside around the rim is amazing, but he's also become a master of knocking down the jump shot from that 15 to 18-foot range. But really, this team has been built now around Parker. Their offensive strategy completely tailored to suit his talents.
Here's Lawson, following the score by Tony Parker. And it's Jordan with the jam.
Now that's a nice finish for the big fella there. I mean, he used his length very well under the basket.
There may be more athletic players around the league, but Steve, not many bigger ones.
And I'll tell you what, Kevin, I'd like to see him even take advantage of that size more often on the offensive end and be more aggressive.
Lawson with it. They lead by their biggest margin of the game, 9. Off target, and we've reached the end of the third. Bobcats lead by 9. And we're coming right back after this break to get the fourth quarter underway. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. So it's Washington now, 9-point game. Parker against Lawson. Parker passes to Beal. Makes the lead pass. Miller kicks to Parker. 6 on the shot clock. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Well, with Parker, he's one of the best finishers in the league, and particularly at that point guard spot, with his speed and his ability to penetrate, he's able to go into the teeth of the defense and either shoot that little floater or get all the way to the rim.
Well, he doesn't have to get all the way to the rim. He's got such a variety of shots in the lane area that really make him hard to defend and make him a really clutch player late in games. He gets into the lane and he's got all of the shots that allow him to score in there.
Now, here is Lawson. And Williams with the stop.
Excellent communication between teammates on the alley-oop there.
And that's where you need to pull that off.
Well, both ends of that play, just fantastic.
Wizards trail by 8. Now Beal. Now the dish to Parker. The Bobcats making a change here. So it's the Wizards now, trailing here by 8. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one, drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there. In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Bobcats.
Anytime you get as many points in the paint as they have, you know you've got a good thing going and you just want to keep it going.
Now, it seems to me that they're taking a lot of pride in their rebounding tonight, especially at the offensive end, guys.
Free throw good by Parker. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
Those free throws edge them a little closer. A couple of stops on defense, and they might not be down for long.
Passes to Williams. Fires from the wing. Jump shot is good that time. Williams has got 4 points this quarter.
You got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Beal dishes to Parker. Parker, right side. Wide open look. That's good from Ariza on the assist by Parker. 7 points for Ariza. Bobcats leading by 6. And the pass to May. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Now here's Ariza. Parker passes to Ariza. Clock at 6. Wizards need to get a shot off here. Here's Beal. Cannot hit. Excellent D there from Williams. The Bobcats have gotten all 3 of their shots to drop here in the 4th quarter. They came out of the break on a roll. And it's Kid Gilchrist penetrating. Got a piece of it. It's off his leg. And they're saying he kicked the ball. The Bobcats making a switch here. Lawson's checked in. .43 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. And the Bobcats lead by 10.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sound.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over. They're down by 10. 36 seconds left in the 4th quarter. What's your take, guys?
Well, talk all they want, but I just don't see a way for them to get back into the game here.
You know what? I don't know if there's a 10-point play out there. That being the case, this one is finished. Over.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Thank you, guys. I got a chance to hear what Randy Whitman was saying to the team. He challenged this group to really go for it, saying, now's the time when winners take control. Now let's go out there and take it to them. Guys, a nice pep talk. We'll see if he got him going.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Here's Favors. Excellent D from Buchanan. The Bobcats have gone a perfect 4 of 4 to start the final quarter. Can't ask for anything more than that. Thompson outside. He kicks it to Sessions. 6 to shoot. Puts the lead pass in front of him.
Well, guys, tonight they came in here and really dictated the terms of the engagement, which is very difficult to do as the visitors.
You're right. That's not usually the way things work in the NBA. It's a great win, and no question, it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here.
So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game.